It looks like it's just going to be you and me. I guess I'm interested in learning more about you and why this appealed to you.
It appeals to me because I have a startup business called Mojo Brand Magic. And I'm actually going through a number of transitions right now. And one is that my business partner of 20 plus years is going to retire. And so it's just going to be me. And so it is really important that I learn how to do a number of automated systems very quickly in order to maintain any kind of sanity. And I think that, and I have a quiz that people can take. Because what we do is we put the magic of you in your brand. As we know that people don't, they may need your services, they may want your services, but they buy people. So how do they get to know you before they really know you?
Hmm.
And in our case, the key is the magic of you in your brand. And so I have a quiz that people can take when they first start out with me. And I would love to be able to drive it better, to get more response from it, to have people take actions better from it than they are right now. I'm not sure that actually qualifies as an actual funnel, but it fits in my mind that that is a funnel. And so I thought, okay, there's something along the customer journey that I might be missing here.
Okay.
And I will start speaking quite a bit more in 2026, and I want to be able to drive people to this and have them take some action.
Okay. Let me just give you a little bit of background about me. I've been writing professionally for 40 years. I'm trained in the story brand framework of marketing. Story brand is where we put customers first. Your customers are the heroes of their story. Your business does not jump in and save the day. Your business guides your customer so they can save
Yes.
their own day. And I've also been trained as a brand strategist through American Writers and Artists. But I
Cool.
also have some experience here. These are some of the problems that I had when I first got into this digital content business. And that is, what are people talking about when they say the word funnel? And what is a customer journey? That's why I developed this program. So let me share my screen. I call this demystifying funnels because a
I
lot of
love
times you
that.
hear the word funnel and you have, what is it? What is a funnel? And then we'll talk about a customer journey, what all is involved in that. Um, but I think the very first thing to talk about is, what is a funnel? What is a funnel? Let me get over here. I'm not doing it. Come on. There we go. I'm sure you've heard the word funnel. A lot of times people make it sound like it's this sophisticated, electronic, huge tech stack thing that you have to know how to operate and how to run. And it's none of those things. A funnel is simply a visual representation of how your customers go through the process of learning about you, beginning to trust you, and then buy from you. So that's what a sales funnel is. It's simply a path or a journey, the steps that people take when they move through this your system to get from awareness to being a purchaser. So there's no big automation about it. There's no tech stack that you need to know. It's just simply knowing how your customers come into your ecosystem and how they process through it. So why is it called a funnel? So think about a funnel in your kitchen. It's got a big opening at the top and it slowly moves down to something that is smaller at the bottom. A sales funnel is the same way. The top of the funnel is where you're getting information out to a bunch of people, a lot of people. You're telling them more about you, you're helping them. You're not necessarily talking about sales. And then it goes down to a little bit thinner and you're weeding some people out. That's when you get to the middle of the funnel where people realize, hey, this person, this business has what I need to solve my problem. do I want to do this with this business? And then it comes down to the point, and that's where you've weeded out all the people who really are not your ideal person or ideal client, and they decide, yes, I'm going to buy from you. So it's really just a journey from who are you and why should I care, all the way down to take my money. That's all the funnel is. So every business needs a funnel. You don't need, like I said, you don't need a huge tech stack. You don't need, all you really need is a flow chart, a piece of paper, some pen, and so that you can make circles and so that you know where you're coming in contact with your different potential clients, how they are interacting with you, and are you giving them the clear direction of where to go next. So, um, having a funnel, knowing where people are coming from and how you are interacting with them, that's the very first step. It provides some structure. So instead of random marketing activities, you've got a very clear path for your customer to engage with you and learn about you, learn to trust you, and then decide to buy from you. That's all it is the path from awareness to purchase. A funnel helps you target the right audience. Now, I've heard a lot of people say, well, my product is for everyone. And I say that's a bunch of baloney. Because if you say that if your product is for everyone, then your product is basically for no one. You've got to be able to attract the right people and repel the wrong people. Imagine how you look in your email inbox and you see an email from that client who you just do not gel with, and you cringe and you're like, oh, I don't want to do this. You don't want that person as a client. You want to be able to say, here's someone who can solve your problem, who does it a way that meshes better with you. And if you're not all that keen on dealing with a specific client, you're not going to give your best service to that person or that business. So you want to make sure you attract the right people, you repel the wrong people. It also helps you figure out where to spend your advertising dollars. If you know who your ideal client is, you know where they spend their time. You know where they're going to see your advertisements. You know that your social media efforts on Facebook aren't going to make any difference if your client only hangs out on LinkedIn. You've got to know where they are, where they hang out, and then that helps you figure out where to spend your marketing dollars. It improves your conversion rates. If you're talking to more people who are the people you really, really want to talk to, you're going to attract them and they're going to want to buy from you. So your conversion rates will be higher, and you'll be able to measure results so much better with your email marketing system, with your website analytics, all those things that they are technical, but they're things that you personally don't have to know, but you need to have somebody on your team who can say, oh, look, all these people came to our website, but they bounced immediately. So that tells me that that first message that they see on our website is not something that's attracting them. We need to make that message much more attractive to people for them to want to stay on our website longer. So that's why every business needs a funnel. Now, all right, so there are a couple of different ways of marketing. There's outbound marketing and inbound marketing. Outbound marketing is your cold emails, your when you buy a lead list, which I would not recommend, your advertising, your anytime that you are reaching out to potential clients, potential customers, that is outbound marketing. So like cold calling, cold emailing, that sort of thing. Inbound marketing is when people come to you. So you can use social media as an way to outbound market. by posting on social media daily. But when someone clicks on it and they come to you, that's inbound. They are coming to you. That gives you higher conversion rates. It gives you an opportunity to provide some helpful content, for you to provide educational videos, for you to provide downloads that are going to be of high value to them. So outbound marketing is necessary, but the conversion rates for outbound marketing are a lot lower than those for inbound marketing. And part of a sales funnel and your customer journey is how you get those customers to participate in your inbound marketing. You get to qualify your leads, and they basically self-qualify. So so let's talk about the customer journey. There are 5 stages of the customer journey. First one is awareness. Now, your customer may not know that they have a problem. They may not realize that they have a problem until they see your social media post on, is your office chair killing your business? And they may think, huh, what's that mean? And you've provided some educational material on how the wrong office chair impacts your mood, impacts your ability to think, impacts your ability to do a good job. So if you have the wrong office chair, it could be impacting your business. Then that client might be able to say, huh, I do have a problem. I do have pain at the end of the day. I do not like to sit in my chair all day. I do not think that that I think that this is something for me. I need to look at this. And then they become aware that they have a problem. Now, the awareness also comes to aware of you and your business and your product and your service. So that top of the funnel is not where you want to talk about sales at all. Top of the funnel is where you want to give people the opportunity to discover your brand, discover the solution that you have to their problem. That's the awareness stage. Some things that work in awareness: SEO optimized blog posts, social media content, educational videos, paid advertising, lead magnets, those types of things, guest content on your blog. Those are all strategies that work well in an awareness stage or the top of the funnel uh, part of marketing. So, okay, here's my example. It says, let's say you sell ergonomic office chairs. Your awareness stage blog post might be titled, "The Top 5 Signs You Need a Better Office Chair." This speaks directly to someone who's experiencing back pain who doesn't yet know the solution is an ergonomic chair. So you're meeting them where they are. You're not trying to sell. You're simply trying to help, to educate, and to establish yourself and your business, your service or product as the solution to a problem. All right. The next stage is the interest stage. Hey, this company really helped me figure out that I need a new office chair. I think I'm going to go back to them when I'm thinking about ergonomic placement of the computer on my desk. Do I want to have a standing chair? Do I want to have the opportunity to let my computer go rise or stand as I'm standing or sitting throughout the day? It sets you and your business up as the place to go to get reliable information. You're building trust. You're building that the ability for someone to look at you and to say, these are the people who know what they're talking about. You're not bragging. You're simply continuing to build the trust with your client that you are there to serve them. You are not there to get them to buy something that they don't necessarily need. Your business, your service, your product is there to serve your client and to solve their problem. help them solve their own problem. It's where you nurture trust, educate about solutions, keep your brand top of mind. You can show empathy at this point. You demonstrate your credibility at this point. You're providing value upon value upon value without asking for any investment in return. And that gets them thinking, wow, this company, this person is giving me all of this. What happens when I give them money?
Hmm.
What are they going to give me then? Just imagine how much more value and much more information I'm going to get if I start exchanging money for these things. So some strategies that work in that interest section when they want to learn more are more lead magnets, email nurture sequences where you take them along and show them, take them along a path and show them how things work or how your product works, how your product solves their problem. Webinars, workshops, case studies with people who have used your product or service in the past and how it served them, um, some white papers, even, or industry reports. Those are all things that continue to demonstrate your expertise and continue to give value to your potential clients or customers. So let's continue on with the ergonomic chair example. So after somebody reads your blog post about 5 reasons that your office chair might be costing you business, they might want to go ahead and download your free guide, the complete guide to creating a pain-free workspace. And when they do that, now you have their email. And now you can start sending them nurture emails, a nurture sequence over the next few weeks that gives tips, success stories, information about different ergonomic solutions that they can use for their office. It's it gives you the whole purpose behind a lead magnet, a landing page is to provide enough value to someone that they say, sure, I'll give you my email in exchange for this. And it's got to be something worthwhile because not many people like to give their email out. And once you get their email, that gives you the opportunity to continue a conversation with them. Now, some people may say, well, that's what my social media is for. I have a Facebook group. I have a Facebook group with 3,000 people in it. I don't need to know their email addresses. I just found out from a friend of mine who had a robust Facebook group that Facebook shut her down because she made a post that apparently was against their guidelines, and then she gets this message from Facebook that her Facebook group has been terminated. She's been kicked
Hmm.
off the platform. If she didn't have their emails, what was she going to do? She
Hmm.
couldn't even contact them to say, I've been kicked off. All they know is all of a sudden she's not there anymore. So you've got to maintain some sort of an email list so that you can maintain that communication with your people, with your tribe. So the middle part of the customer journey is the whole decision process. This is where they're going to be thinking is this product or service right for me? Is this something that's really going to solve my problem? They're really going to be thinking about purchasing at this point. So they're comparing options. They're reading reviews. They're evaluating whether your solution is a better fit over somebody else's. So this is where you need to address their objections and make a compelling case for why your solution is the right choice. This is where you differentiate yourself from your competitors. Um, your goal is to help your customers evaluate and choose you as the solution to their problem. Remove any doubt, build confidence. So some strategies that work here are product demonstrations or free trials to your service, testimonials and reviews, a product comparison chart. It could be detailed sales pages where you go into specifics about how your service works. Um, Talking about benefits and features and benefits. Interest is where you might want to be talking about benefits. Here in the decision part, might be where you want to start introducing some features. People, when people make the decision to purchase, they make the decision first for emotional reasons, but then
Mhm.
they have to have logical reasons to back their emotional decision up. So you talk about the benefits. This truck will pull your family camper and all of the occupants of your truck through the Colorado Rockies safely, no problem whatsoever. That's the benefit. The perch or the features that you can get into it could be things like this is the towing capacity, this is the crash rating on this specific truck, this is the size of the engine. Uh, those are the features and things that back up what you've talked about as the benefits. And this is the decision time is about the time that someone's going to be saying, okay, you said this is what it was going to do. How? How does it do that? Um, then we get into action. Now, a lot of people think that there are only four stages of a customer journey, and we will talk about how the fifth stages is one that many, many people forget about. But this fourth stage is action. That's at the bottom of the funnel. That's when that customer is saying, here, take my money. Take my money. I want to buy. I want to purchase what it is you have. This is where you want to make this buying process as simple and frictionless as possible. You don't want to lose them at the finish line. So if your website analytics says that people stay on your web page and they it looks like they're there for 10 minutes, so they've had the opportunity to read the entire web page. They go to your checkout or your cart, and they actually put something into the cart and then they leave. Why? Did something scare them off? Was there some objection that they had that they were waiting till they got to a certain point that you said that you addressed that objection that they had and you didn't, and so they left? Um, that's where you really have to pay attention to how people are using your website and whether or not they're taking the steps that you want them to take. Um, some strategies that work. Clear calls to action. Buy now. Schedule your call now. Um, join my email list is not a call to action. People don't want your email. But if you're going to give them something that's very valuable in exchange for their email, then they'll give it to you and they'll accept that newsletter that you send them once a week or once a month or however often that you send it. Um, learn more is not a clear, compelling call to action. What happens when I click that button to learn more? Is it gonna ask me for my credit card? Do I have to pay before I learn more? I don't
Yeah.
I don't know. So learn more is not a clear call to action. Buy now is a very clear call to action. Schedule your free call now is a clear, compelling call to action. You want to streamline that checkout process. The fewer steps, the better. If somebody has to go in and they have to log into your system, they have to create an account on your system, then they're going to want to know, take you through 5 windows to get to the point where they get to the purchase now button.
Yeah.
That's not a streamlined checkout process. But if they can just go to checkout right away, and then after they check out, you can say, would you like to create an account where you can come back and all of your information will still be here? That that might be the place to try to collect all that information. Money back guarantees. A guarantee is a great way to say you don't have any risk here because I'm guaranteeing that you will get what you want out of this. This is also abandoned cart follow-ups. You need to make this purchase step obvious. Because if somebody has to hunt for the buy button, if they have to think in the story brand world, we talk about how you don't want your customers to waste calories. You don't want them to have to think about what do I have to do in order for this to happen.
Hmm.
If they have to think, then you've lost them. It's a lot easier just to click back and go to the next person on the search page. So the last stage of the customer journey is this post-purchase, this delight stage. This is where people forget. People forget about this all the time. Did I make the right decision? Do you still care about me? Since I bought something from you, are you now going to ignore me? Or are you going to follow up and see if what I bought from you worked or it didn't work? This is where you show your loyalty to your customer, and that customer becomes loyal to you. So thank you notes, even a thank you video. Hey, Melinda, I saw that you were on my website. Thanks so much for being here. And you asked for some information. Here's the information that I said I was going to send you. If you have any questions, just yell, just let me know. Um, that goes a long way. That goes a long way. Uh, if there are things about the purchase process that you've found out from previous customers that they always have a question about, answer that right away.
Hmm.
Figure that out, answer it right away. Um, give them some immediate value. Follow up. How's it going? How'd that workbook work for you? Was there information in there that was helpful? Do you have ideas or suggestions on how we can make it even better or more helpful to people? You can do surveys with them. So that ergonomic chair company, once somebody makes a purchase, they send a personal video thank you from the founder. And that founder then provides a detailed setup guide to make sure that that customer knows exactly the best ergonomic positions for things for different types of people. It checks in after 2 weeks to see how it's going. How are they feeling? They include a lumbar support pillow that is not part of the description, but they just stick that in there. So it's a free gift. And they also ask people to join the private Facebook community so that people who have other questions can maybe get them answered there. This is where you create customers for life, is in this delight stage. So let's do an interactive exercise that you can try. Just take out a piece of paper and start making notes of who are your ideal customers. How can you describe their problem in 3 different levels? Every customer, every person has a problem that expresses itself in 3 different levels. The first is the external problem. What is physically getting in their way? So for the ergonomic chair example, back pain. Back pain is their external problem. So what's their internal problem? This is how this problem makes them feel. So I have this back pain. I'm frustrated because I just can't concentrate. I'm tired, and I really don't know if this is a significant pain that I should be worrying about, or do I just work through it? That's the internal problem. Then there's the philosophical problem. That's the bigger viewpoint of I shouldn't have to suffer. I shouldn't have back pain just to sit here at my desk and do my job. I deserve to have a pain-free day. So look at your customers' problems in those 3 different levels. That will help you figure out where your customer journey starts. How does that customer come into contact with you in the first place? Why are they coming into contact with you? Then the next step is to identify touch points. I don't know if you've heard, I've heard anywhere from 5 to 17 different times that you have to come in contact with a customer before they trust you enough to purchase something from you. It doesn't matter how many times. It simply means that you have got to stay in contact with this person, with this customer. And if that's through constant social media posts, if it's through periodic emails, if it's through advertising that they see regularly on their different platforms, if it's through cold emails sequence, anything like that. Anytime you come in contact with them, anytime you send them a newsletter, anytime you give them some free resources, anytime you have them download your free guide, that's another touch point. And so you've got to be able to identify every time you come into contact with this client or with this potential customer. Each one of those touch points, their reaction to them will determine whether or not they continue on to the next stage. So if they come in contact with you during the awareness section or the awareness time of their journey, and they think, oh, looks like a really interesting company, and they move on, and then they sign up and they get your free resource, or they start getting your email newsletter, and they're like, oh, I'm really liking this place. I'm really liking this place. And then they start to see testimonials and product demonstrations. Those are all points when they can either say, forget it, or I like this place. I'm going to keep moving forward in this journey. They don't know it's a journey, but you know that it's the journey. You know that you're leading them through the process of getting to know you, trusting you, and purchasing from you. Then the next step is to identify gaps and opportunities. So where do customers currently drop off? Where do they fall out? Do they not click through on your emails? Maybe your message is not clear in your email, or it's not compelling enough for them to want to click through. Do they bounce off of your website within seconds? That would be a clear sign that your homepage or your above the fold, which is that first screen that people see when they come to your website, your above the fold screen does not have a message that is compelling to them. Do they get to the point where they need to go to the next step, but they don't? Maybe your buttons or the buttons or the places where you want them to click, they're not clear. Maybe they don't know what you want them to do next. So you need to identify the gaps and opportunities that you have as you work through this process of figuring out your customer journey. There we are. Um, Tools that you can use to determine these things. Your email platform is going to tell you how many people opened your email, how many people clicked through. Those are the types of statistics that will help you determine whether or not the message in your email is a good message or not. Your landing page builder will tell you how many people visited your landing page but did not sign up for your free thing. Maybe your message was not clear. How many people got to your page and stayed there for a long time, but they never clicked through and purchased anything or never followed up with your call to action? Maybe your next step wasn't very clear. So those are all some tools that you can use. Your email marketing platform will have those things in it. Your landing page builder will give you that opportunity to check out. Google Analytics is free. Use it. Your CRM system, your customer relationship management system, will help you keep track of every time a customer interacts with you. And you can also get a social media scheduler. I know in my CRM, I can schedule my social media posts directly through my CRM, but there are specific social media schedulers that you can use. You can also do some A/B testing. Let's say you've got two different subject lines for the same email that you want to use. Use one subject line for one part of your email uh, customers and another subject line for the other part and see which one gets opened the most. That's a nice way to do some A/B testing. Customer feedback surveys are always wonderful. Um, your funnel is never going to be perfect. Just like you are always changing, your business is always changing, your customers are always changing. So your customer journey and your funnel will probably always be changing to reflect how those other parameters are changing. The goal is progress, not perfection. I don't think you're ever going to get perfection. You can get really close to a great turnout, a great funnel, but there's always going to be a way to improve upon something. Here are some mistakes. Focusing on only one section of the funnel is a big mistake. A lot of people are very, very good at focusing at the top of the funnel, providing
Mhm.
information, providing value, but they don't do a very good job of moving that customer to the next step. So don't focus on just one section of your funnel. Don't make your buying process complicated. If your buying process is complicated, your customer has to think too much, they're going to go someplace where it's easier. Do not ignore the people who have purchased from you in the past. It is so much easier to get a customer to spend money with you again than it is to get somebody to spend money with you the first time. So keeping those previous customers engaged uh, is just as important as, if not more important, than getting the customer in the first place.
Mhm.
You've got to qualify your leads. You've got to focus on the right people. Like I said before, if you are dreading having to deal with a specific customer, you are not going to serve that person to the best of your ability. And that person will probably not be very satisfied. So make sure that you're dealing with the right people, not just anyone. And funnels funnels change all the time. They require testing, learning, adjusting, repeating, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So don't give up. Don't throw a funnel out or a plan or a process out simply because it didn't work this time. And your results aren't going to happen overnight. You have to be persistent. It's just like being a business owner. You're not going to give up. I think that the difference between the people who succeed and the people fail is the people who succeed didn't stop.
Mhm. Makes a lot of sense.
All right. So here are some next steps. I do have a couple of resources for you. I have a customer journey mapping worksheet that I will put into the chat. I also have a funnels workbook that you can download. I will have that in the chat as well. I'm going to stop sharing here so that I can put stuff in the chat. Um, don't let this be another webinar that you've gone to and you've spent an hour on a Friday afternoon, an hour on a Friday afternoon with this weird woman. Don't let it just go to waste. Choose something to focus on. Choose something that you can do to take advantage of and to use this information. All right, come on. So the customer journey mapping worksheet is in the chat. And then here is the Demystifying Funnels workbook. That also is in the chat. It's uploading it right now. I am available for a free 30-minute. And the way I talk, it could turn out to be 2 hours. Who knows? But let's just talk about your business, about what you're facing, about what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to reach, and maybe get some ideas on how to map out some strategy that you can use. Um, and I said it before, building a funnel is not all about perfection. It's just about progress. You just start where you are right now. Take it one step at a time. You don't need fancy software. You don't need a huge budget. You just need to be clear about how you want your customer to walk through the journey of knowing, liking, and trusting you enough to purchase from you. So, we've got a few minutes left. If you've got any questions whatsoever, I'd be so happy to talk with you. I appreciate you both being here. Um, like I said, it's a Friday afternoon, a week before Thanksgiving. Who wants to be in a webinar? But I appreciate you both being here. And I will be uploading this onto YouTube. So I'll also send out a link to the YouTube replay along with links to these documents. Oh, sign up for a call. Let me give you my So there is my calendar. That is a link to my calendar, my scheduling link. I'll also include that in that follow-up message. Um, that's all I've got. I just thank you both so much for being here and allowing me to talk your ear off. Appreciate it. And allowing my googly eyes to look back at you, stare back at you.
I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to use the chat here, but it's not. I think it's because I have a window open. There we go. Question.
And then that's my email. So if you've got any questions or anything, just let me know. Stages under each phase of the funnel. Let's look. Let me finish this. The I think that the stages of the customer journey are going along the lines of where they fit in the funnel. So that awareness is all at the top of the funnel. Um, then the interest and decisions. The interest is the middle of the funnel, decision is middle of the funnel and bottom of the funnel, and action is the bottom of the funnel. So the bottom of the funnel is really where you want to start talking about buying something or where you want to talk about selling something. The top of the funnel is mostly just for education and offering value. Middle of the funnel is maybe to get rid of some objections, do some more teaching, prove that you are the person to provide the service that they're looking for. And then the bottom of the funnel is, all right, spend some money. Here, take my money. I want to spend money with you.
That
Now,
makes sense.
but I still believe that the bottom line is that you don't want to try to talk someone into buying something.
Mm-hmm.
You want to serve them. You want to show them how you can guide them to a solution to whatever problem that they're facing.
And I definitely see some gaps in what I'm doing based on this.
I'm glad that that was helpful.
Well, it is helpful. 'Cause, I mean, in a way, it is. I understand what you're saying, but in a way, that's a good news because otherwise, what action can you take? What
Right,
action can
right,
I take?
right.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I really appreciate this.
Well, I'm glad that you came.
Me
Thank you
too.
so much, Belinda. I really appreciate your time and thank you. It was a wonderful way for me to spend a Friday afternoon.
It
Thanks.
was. It was great fun. Happy weekend.
Then you too, and I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
All
Thank you.
right, you take
You
care.
too.
See
Bye
ya.
bye.
Bye.
I think.